Boss Fight Gaming. Get ready. Fight!
Hey guys, welcome back to another video from Boss Fight Gaming. Today we're playing part 2 of our Dodgeball Academia playthrough. You should be on episode 4. Once you start, we're just going to head out the room, so just head towards the screen. And Balloony's going to start talk to you, and he gives you a love letter because you have a secret admirer. Once you've collected the love letter from Balloony, we're just going to head down towards the screen and out the room. And then like always, you're going to head to the left and down the steps. Just keep following it outside. And once we're in there, we're just going to head to the right like usual. And down the steps. Once we head into the open area, we're going to head... Oh, in fact, I forgot, there is a fight here. This is about pizza. Would you prefer pizza with pineapple or ketchup? Doesn't matter which answer you decide, it makes no difference at all. It has no bearings on any achievement. Just to let you guys know, I will be skipping a lot of these fight scenes in the future of this video, so you may want to pause it as those fight scenes come up. But other than that, you should be absolutely fine. I won't skip any valuable ones that may help you miss an achievement. So as long as, if I have missed it, just pause the video, fight the battle yourself, then catch up. Anyway, after the fight, we're going to head north and then right up the steps and across the bridge. And then we're going to head down past the infirmary and head up towards the red courts. And then in the red court at the top, we're going to get our first side battle. So just walk over to the character and press X. Once the side battle is complete, so you may want to pause there, you can just head to the left over the fence, up the steps, and fight the next guy, which is just over by the lookout area sort of thing. Just before you go into the woodland area. As I mentioned, I'm going to be skipping these, so you may want to pause the video there and catch up. Once we've done that, we're going to head over to the right and we're going to fight rematch guy. So head over, fight rematch guy. Again, you may want to pause the video there. There's a lot of fight scenes in this level, so you're going to be pausing a lot, unfortunately. Keep heading over all the way to the right, and then down into the orange courts, and get your next battle. Again, a fight will happen there, so you may want to pause it. Keep skimming through the dialogue, and then head back up, and to the left, and back into the school. Go to the school main doors, and head forward, and Pixie and all her friends will be waiting. There's going to be about 4 or 5 fight scenes here. Or is it 2 actually? There's the first. And then there's another just after. So there's 2 here actually. So I am going to skip through both. So you may want to pause it until both are finished. But yeah, so the first one's with the robots and stuff. Second one is against Pixie. And again, I did skip those because they have no bearings on your achievement, apart from obviously giving you XP to get your level achievement. Once we've done the battle, we're going to head up the steps to the right and then up to the right again. And as we get to the top and just towards the principal's office, the monkey teacher will run over and start talking with us. We're going to head back to the left afterwards, all the way down the corridor and then into the room on the left, far left. And we are going to start our next training session. He'll take us down into the car park where we will do a battle. Now there is a car park achievement where you have to avoid the car. When you've got 3 characters, it's very difficult, so I would recommend not doing it at that point or trying to do it at that point. But I did skip that fight, so you may want to pause the video. Then afterwards, once we're back in the room with the chimp or monkey, or I don't even know what kind of monkey he is, teacher, we're going to open the container at the top right of the screen, and then we're going to open the container at the top left of the screen, and then we're going to head out the room at the bottom left. We're going to follow it round, and then we're going to go into the second room with the crown on it. So you can just head inside here. We're going to climb up on the box, the top right, jump on the purple block, and then throw the ball on top of the container on the right. Then we're okay to leave the room. So that was on the big box on the top right of the screen in the crown room. Head out the crown room and then head over all the way to the right. Keep going all the way until you get to the steps that lead up to the roof. We're going to go up to the roof. Now it's important to note here that just behind the steps that I've just walked up, there is a chest there. If for any reason you do stumble across it, do not open it because we need it for achievement. If you do open it, you may miss an achievement. You can open the chest there at the top near the car, but the one that's hidden down by behind the steps, do not open or you will or can miss your achievement. Anyway, once we collected that chest up by the car and spoken to the teacher and the students, it will put us outside and we will get our next achievement for another character joining our team, which is Sinuko, and she has now joined our team. Again, it puts us outside and it will give you a bit of a tutorial about counters. Again, I'm going to skip through that. Please pause the video until you've finished the fight scene tutorial. After that's finished, we're going to skip through and we're outside the school, so we're going to head over to the left, head up into the woodland area, and then head over to the left. In this area, we are just going to follow it around, so just keep it on coming into the left hand side here. Don't go up the steps, just keep following it around to the left, then head towards the screen, and then head down the ramp on the right, then down the ramp towards the screen, through the long grass, and then through the log tunnel. And then we're just going to head over to the right, and we're going to get into our first fight. You will need to trigger it yourself. I am going to skip it, so you may want to pause the video. Once that fight scene is complete, you can skip through the reward screen by tapping the A button. And then once that's done, we're just going to head over to the left. Keep going over to the left. I'm going to challenge Naomi over here outside of the lab. So I am going to skip the fight as usual, so if you may want to pause the video there. Once you've beaten Naomi, you can just go through the reward screen by tapping A. Collect all your rewards. And then skim through any dialogue. Now you need to click on her again because she wants you to do a side mission for her, so you have to beat her first, then you have to click on her again afterwards to start the side mission. Once you start the side mission, we're going to head over to the left and then up through the long grass and then climb the steps. Once you're at the top of the steps, you're going to keep going all the way up to the top and then right to the top and then to the right where we opened the container before. There is a character that we need to encounter and then we need to beat them in a fight. So straight to the top of the ramp, keep going to the top and then just to the right, there's the first battle. Once we've done that, we're going to come back towards the screen. We're going to go do that down the ramp. In fact, no we're not, we're going to go right to the ramp, sorry. So go to the top of the ramp and turn right and then keep following that around. Drop down the steps, head towards the screen and head down the ramp to the right. Then head into the long grass just at the top of the screen and head to the right and you will encounter your second fight. Again, where we opened the tub previously, that's where it is. So once you've won the fight again, you may want to pause it because I've skipped the video of the fight scene. Come towards the screen and head down the ramp through the long grass and then through the log bridge again. And then over to the right where we just beat that other fight. And there is another guy over here on what I call the island. We're going to beat him, so I'm going to skip the video, so you may want to pause it again there. Once you beat that fight, you have now just done all the 3 tasks you need for Naomi for her side mission. So you can head back over to the left, back over towards the lab, where Naomi will wait with the finished symbol above her head. Speak to her, and that will be the next part of the challenge complete. You will have to fight her. Again, I'm going to skim through the video there of the fight scene, so you may want to pause the video. Once you've beaten Naomi, she will give you the red ring. This is another part of the equipment we need towards our achievement. But once you've finished the fight, just going to head north into the door of the lab. And then we're going to head over to the right. And we're going to speak to the big orange guy, Chester. Once you've spoken to Chester, skim through all the dialogue. We'll listen to it again. If you are listening to all the dialogue, just keep remembering to pause. Once you've spoken to Chester, it will start a fight scene. You may want to pause the video there because I will be skipping through the fight scene. Once the fight scene's over, you can skim or listen to the dialogue. Head down towards the screen and then head to the right. And then once you can, head through the log tunnel and then head north up the ramp. And then head left up the next ramp. Head up towards the screen and then head to the right towards the exit of the woods area. Come down towards the screen. Keep following it around to the right and then leave the woods. You can head down the ramp and then head over to the right. Careful not to jump in to the courts like I did. Just keep heading over to the right until you get over to the cafe or the cafeteria. And then just as you get there, you'll be dragged into another scene. And you will have to do a couple of fights. Again, you may want to pause the video as I skip through the fight. You will get quite a lot of goodies there for that fight. So yeah, just keep skimming through. And then head into the school, into the school's cafeteria. Once you're in the school's cafeteria, you will want to skip through the dialogue, and there will be a few fight scenes here. Can't remember if there's one or more, but either way, I am going to be skimming through them all, so you may want to pause the video until you're caught up. Once you've done all the fight scenes in the cafe, you're okay again then, just to skip through all that dialogue, and then leave the cafe through the front door. Once you're outside, we're just going to head over to the left. Careful not to bash into other students and the wall. Keep heading over to the left, and then we're going to head back up into the woodland area, as that's where our next part of the challenge is. So yeah, head up into the woodlands, head north and then left. Head up the steps and follow it up the ramp and over to the left a bit more. Once you get to the wooden bridge, we're going to head down the screen towards the ramp and down the steps. Then we're going to head through the long grass and keep continuing over to the left where we're into the creepy woods area. Once we're in the creepy woods area, we are going to speak to Vampy and Squiddy, and it will start a cutscene where we will be in a fight. Again, I'm going to skip the fight, so you may want to pause the video. Once the fight scene is complete, you may want to skip through the dialogue by double tapping Y. Once that's done, it actually spawns us outside of the woodland area, so you don't need to walk back through the wood yourself. Head towards the screen, and then head to the right hand side. And then we're going to head back into the school doors, main doors of the school. Once we're inside, you may want to collect a couple of balls just in case you come across any tubs. Head up the steps, either of them, and keep continuing up to the second floor. Once we're on the second floor, we're going to head over to the right, and just outside the principal's office, we are going to get dragged into a dialogue. Skip through the dialogue, and once the dialogue's finished, we're just going to head back to the left and again back down the stairs. Once we've been down the stairs, we're going to head towards the main door of the building and out through the main door. And then once we're through the main door, we're going to keep coming towards the screen, down the big steps, through the main courtyard. And then we're going to head over to right towards the arena, up the steps towards the arena, and keep going all the way up to the top and then in through the main door. So now we're inside the arena, and we're ready for our tournament. I am going to skip through the fight here. Every episode you get into a tournament fight, I believe. Again, I'm not going to make you watch mine and then do it yourself, so you may want to pause the video just as I skip through the video. Fight, that is. And once you're caught up, then you're happy and continue to play the video. So yeah, it looks like there may be one or two fights there. Again, I'm going to skip through them both, so you may want to pause the video. In fact, I don't skip through this one. It looks like because it took me that quick, I left it in. So yeah, I think there's two fights there. I didn't skim through the second one just because of how quick it was. But once you've done that part, you can then skip through the reward screen by tapping your A button. So there will be a bit of a scene where all the students and faculty are speaking to each other. We're going to skim through that, and we will get another achievement called Trouble Letter, which is actually our episode 4 completion achievement. So that's that done, and we're getting through these achievements even more so. So again, we're very appreciative of anybody that watches. Once you've got the achievement there for winning the tutorial, we're going to head back to the dorm, which is down the screen, and then all the way to the left, over the bridge on the left hand side, down towards the screen again. Oh, in this area actually, when we get back to the docks, the open area, we are actually going to come down onto the docks, which is towards the screen, and just collect our container there. Then we're going to head back up and then left towards the dorm, up the 2 steps and into the dorm area and into the main door. And again, we're going to head up the steps and we're going to head over to our dorm room. where we're going to complete and finish episode 4 by going to sleep. Again, you will get some dialogue just before that happens, as the students all talk with each other. But once that's done, just head into your bedroom and head to your bed and press sleep, and that will be the end of that episode. In fact, it does start a couple of dialogue screens where you can skim through them. Once you've done that, you can save. I always save over the earliest save file. So yeah, once you've done that, it will be a couple of scenes, and then you will be on the next day. Once the next day is started, you know what to do. You can collect a couple of balls off the screen and head towards the bottom of the screen and out the door. And as always, Balloony will stop you for a little conversation. Skim through the conversation by double tapping Y. That will trigger the main quest. You can collect the balls or not. At this point, you should have most of the containers anyway. Head to the left and another dialogue will start with Mina. Skim through the dialogue with Mina and head down the steps. Head down the next steps and out the door. Once we leave the dorm, we are actually going to be working towards our next achievement. This achievement can be a little bit temperamental, but as long as you follow on with my instructions, you should be absolutely fine to get it. So we're just going to head over to the right into the open area. You may want to in fact, you need to pause your game. So pause your game, go to your accessibility settings, difficulty settings, and turn your damage taken up to around 80%. I would recommend not going too much higher than 80%. You can go a little bit lower if you're not as confident, but I would recommend about 80%. Then we're going to head over to the right and get into our first fight. Now, it's going to get a little bit tricky because we haven't really done this before. But we're going to pick up a couple of balls, and then we're going to press right trigger next to Balloony to switch to Balloony. You may get a little bit trouble where you switch to the wrong character, but just keep going until you manage to get Balloony as your main character. And then we're going to throw a couple of balls over to the other side. Try not to kill the other guys, so you can throw them as slow as you can. And then when we are Balloony, we're going to allow the other team to cause us damage. So careful not to kill them too soon. And allow them to keep throwing balls at yourself. Now, there's something that I realised a little bit later on. Instead of throwing the ball slowly at the other team, you can actually walk across the line in the middle and you will drop the ball for them, because you can't carry the ball onto the opponent's off. So you can probably do that in one fight. Anyway, what you need to do is get them to hurt you down to about 50% of health. Once you're down to about 50% of health, you need to come into your items, and then you need to look on your phone on the right hand side. It will tell you whether this character likes it, loves it, dislikes it, etc. Now you need to use items on Balloony to refill his health, but only ones that he loves. So go through your items, find items that Balloony loves to heal him, and then use them on him. Alternatively, there are items that can also boost a character's abilities permanently. Now there is a couple of these that Balloony does love, so if you want to use those and you've already collected them from around the level, by all means use those, because again they will count towards this achievement. You just need to get 10 items and give them to a character that loves them. However, health items, healing items, you can only use them until your character is fully healed, so it can be a little bit tricky to get that to work. But anyway, we're going to finish giving the items that we have. Maybe you already managed to give him 10 there from the beginning. If not, head over to the left and up towards the shop, and we get into our second fight. Press right trigger to pass the ball to Balloony and switch our character over to Balloony. And we're going to use the same principle again. We're going to throw the balls on the other half and allow the other players to hurt us. There is a simple way of doing this, which I remembered in the end but forgot beforehand. Instead of throwing the ball at the enemy to hurt them, you can actually walk across the white line in the middle of the pitch, and this will actually drop the ball for the other team, because you're not allowed to carry the ball onto the other opponent's half. So once you've taken some damage, in this fight I didn't take enough damage. Well, I did. It doesn't really matter how much damage you take as long as you've taken some. By the way, if you've put any equipment on Balloony that heals him after a fight, you need to take that off. This is one of the reasons why I said don't put any equipment on without being told to, because you may have put something on that heals Balloony after a fight. If you have, make sure you remove that equipment. I'm sure you haven't, but if you have, please do that. So once you've finished that fight, just take any items that heal Balloony's health back up, and then we're going to get into our third fight just around the corner to the left towards the woodland second locked path. And then this time I'm actually going to allow myself to get killed Balloony full health. And the reason for that is I want to show you guys, just in case you accidentally take too much damage, what you need to do to get Balloony back into the fight. So anyway, just play the fight like usual. But if for any reason you do actually die, as again you can see on this one, I am actually walking across the line, which makes the Balloony drop the ball automatically. Again, all we need to do is take around 50% damage, 50 health. So as long as you've got 50 health, you're okay to win the fight. But if for any reason, like myself, you end up dying, you will need to do a couple of things to get Balloony back into the game. So again, as long as you're on 50 health, you're okay to win the match if you can. But again, I accidentally allow Balloony to die. No problem at all. Once you have 50% health for Balloony, or less, or more, as long as you're taking damage, that's the main thing. So it doesn't really matter if it's 50%, but 50% means you can use a couple more items on him than if you were at 90%, say. But anyway, once you have finished the fight, if you have taken damage and you've killed Balloony, or Balloony is dead, in the middle where it says recovers your health, you actually need to find one that says revives a team member up to 25% health or more. So that's the only way to get your character back in the game other than going to the infirmary. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to find a item that Balloony loves that revives him, and then we're going to find an item that Balloony loves that heals him. And then we're going to get into our next fight and we're going to do the same all over again. I know this is a little bit frustrating. It's not the most easiest thing to do, but once we've beat the fight there, we're going to head to the right, past the shop, down towards the screen and head up the bridge. And then our next fight is on the bridge, and we're going to do the same again. So we're going to allow Balloony to come into the fight, and we're going to allow Balloony to take damage. Again, we only need to get the opponent's health down. We only need to get Balloony's health down to around 50% to get this to work properly. So once you're around about 50%, you're okay to win. Again, you might accidentally lose Balloony and knock him out. That's absolutely fine, because we're just going to do the same trick again by reviving him. We don't want all three of our team members to die though, so keep that in mind. Once we have Balloony's health really low, we are going to finish the fight, and we're going to use the same method once again. So yeah, once we finish the fight, we're going to do the same again. Head over to items in our inventory, and we're going to go down and find items that Balloony loves. If Balloony's dead, we need to use one that says revives. If Balloony's just hurt, we need to use one that says recovers. So just either revive or recover some of his health, and eventually you will get his achievement. Use 10 items on a team member that loves them. So it's pretty straightforward, that achievement is, guys. As long as you just followed along with what I said, you should be absolutely fine. If you haven't got it just yet, just continue on to the next fight. There's a couple more in the courtyard, and continue to do the same thing. If you have completed it, just don't forget to go back into your accessibility setting, difficulty settings, and turn your damage taken back up, or should I say back down to 0, so you can no longer get hurt. So it's as simple as that. Once you've done that, again, head towards the infirmary around the corner, and there is another fight. If you don't get that achievement yet for using the items, just come around here and do it on this next guy. Again, I'm going to skip it now since we have it, but it's as straightforward as that. Hopefully you understood what I meant and you've got that achievement. We're going to go around and finish off all the other side fights in this area. Again, I am going to skip them, so you may want to pause the video while they play through. Again, if you didn't have enough items for the Balloony mission achievement where you're going to be using the items, you can continue to look around the map for those containers, or you can nip to the cafeteria and buy some of the items that Balloony loves from there. Once we've beaten the fights at the red courts, we need to head over and finish the other side fights. You can see them on the mini map, the little red fist. they are in the orange courts, which are over to the right hand side. So beat those fights in the red courts, then move over into the orange courts, and then beat the other side fight. The reason why we do all these side fights is just to get our XP up, so that we can get the achievement for reaching certain levels throughout the game. We should already have our level 10 level up achievement. Should already have our 20 by now, and soon we should get our 30. Again, you may get them at a different time than me, due to the fact that XP is a little bit more random. Anyway, once you have beaten the guys in the red and orange courts, we're going to head up towards the school's front door and head over to the left, where we're going to fight Rematch Guy. Again, I skim the video there, the fight video, so you may want to pause the video. And once you've beaten Rematch Guy, you will get a nice juice drink from him, and we're going to head into the school's main doors. Head up, collect a couple of balls, just in case we find any containers. And then we're going to head over to the right of the downstairs area and head into the toilets. Now in this room, we are going to be working towards an achievement. You need to talk to this guy over on the right hand side, and we're going to be playing a game that's very similar to rock, paper, scissors. Basically, you have to choose whether to throw the ball, catch the ball, or focus. Focus is not really important, not that I'm aware of. I can't figure out if there's a way to win using focus, but I never did anyway. So basically, at the top of the screen, you can see how balls, you either have 2, 1, 0, and the opponent also has them. Now, if you don't have any balls, all you need to do is keep pressing catch. If you do have balls, you need to throw them at the opponent, and hopefully he doesn't catch your balls. If you do take a hit at any point, you will lose the fight. So basically, you need to choose to whether it's basically a guess what the other player is going to do next type thing. Like I said, rock, paper, scissors, you've got to outthink the other player. But again, if you have 0 balls like I do right now, just keep pressing catch, and eventually the opponent will actually throw one, and you will get one back. Now, you can then throw the ball, and if the other person is either focusing or catching, you will either win or he will catch the other ball. So basically, you just got to try and catch him out when he's focusing. You should pick this up pretty quickly. It's very straightforward. There's not really much more I can do to sort of explain to you how it works. It's basically just play it until you understand. Again, it's like rock, paper, scissors. You either throw or catch the ball or focus. Again, you don't really need to focus. You may be able to win by focusing, I'm not too sure. But anyway, so you need to play all 3 levels. So once you beat him on the first level, you need to go back and speak to him again and then play the second level. Once you beat him on the second level, you need to go back again and play him on the third level. They do get a little bit more difficult as the time goes by, because on the third one, he will actually start with 3 balls. Once again, if he has balls and you don't, the only thing that you really need to do is just keep catching until he throws one. And then once he's thrown one and you have caught it, you will then want to try and throw it back at the right time. Once you throw it back at the right time, you will then win. Again, he may catch the ball. If he does catch the ball, all you need to do is just keep catching again until you have another ball. Once you have another ball, you just need to choose the right moment to throw it when the other player is focusing. Again, just keep going through until you think he's going to focus. And then when you think he's going to focus, you just need to then throw the ball. Again, we both threw at the same time there, which means none of us got a new ball. And then he decided to focus, which means we won. Again, make sure you do all 3. It's very straightforward. Again, I can't really go into much detail about how it works. It's just a bit like rock, paper, scissors. Just choose the right answers and you will get it. If for any reason you lose the fight, just go back in and start it again. And just remember, you need to do all 3 to get the achievement. Now, if you did struggle on that challenge for any reason, you can click on the other guy and actually ask him to tell you the rules. Again, it is pretty straightforward, so I can't see many of you struggling with that. If any of you do really struggle to the point where you just can't get past it, please send me a message in the comments, and I'll be happy to try and think of another way to explain it to you. But other than that, I'm pretty sure most of you will be happy to get that. Once you've beaten the fight anyway and you got the achievements, we're just going to head up to the stairs and then head over to the left into the first room, which is what I call the fabric room. And we're going to skip through all the dialogue in there, and then we're going to leave the room and head back down the stairs. Once we're down the stairs, we're just going to head out of the school, so head towards the main doors. Once we're out of the school and we've left the main doors, we're going to head over to the right and we're going to head into the cafeteria, or the cafe, or whatever you want to call it, the dinner hall. And we're going to speak to the service lady there, the lunch lady, the dinner lady. And we're going to skim through the dialogue, and then we're going to get into a little bit of a dialogue with the other character. Once we've been through all the dialogue, we're going to head outside, and there's going to be more dialogue, and we're going to skim through that. And we're going to be in a fight with Blockhead. Once we're in the fight with Blockhead and you've won, again, I'm going to skip, so you may want to pause the video there. Win the fight with Blockhead. And then skim through the dialogue. His name's Cubo, but I call him Blockhead. Once you finish the fight with Blockhead, we're going to head over to the left. And we're going to head over into the school's main door. Once we've gone into the school's main door, we're going to head over and speak to Balloony and Mina. And we're going to get into a bit of a fight with them. If you've been listening to the dialogue, you'll understand why. If you haven't, it doesn't really matter. Just beat Balloony and them, and you will or may get your level 30 achievement there. If not, again, don't worry about it. You will get it eventually with the XP from the battles that you've been doing. Once we've beaten Balloony, we're going to head up the steps behind them, and we're going to head upstairs. And we're going to head over and speak to the guys outside the fabric room. And then we're actually going to head into the fabric room. I know I walked down the stairs a little bit there, but that's because I forgot. But just head into the fabric room, as that's the place that we need to be. Now we're going to go inside and we're going to speak to George. We can answer any of the questions here however you like, I think. I've answered them different ways in my multiple playthroughs, and it had no variant on the guide or the achievements that I can think of. So yeah, just choose whatever answers you want, or just choose the top one, or whatever you want. Just choose whatever answers. Once you've done them, we're going to head towards the exit of the school. So head down the steps and out the door. Then we're going to head towards the woodland. So head to the left and up into the woodland area. Follow it around and you will get into a fight. Again, you may want to pause the video because I'm going to do what I usually do and just skim through this on the video, just so you don't have to watch me fight and then do it yourself. There's nothing worse than having to watch somebody else do a part that you don't really need to see. So yeah, pause the video there. Once you're caught up, head to the left and just keep following it around. Don't go up the steps, just keep heading to the left and head towards the screen, and then down the ramp on the right, and then head back up towards the top of the screen where there is another player hiding in the long grass. I'm going to skim the fight here, guys, so you may want to pause it. Once you've completed it, you're okay to skim past the reward screen. And then double tap Y to go through the dialogue. Head towards the screen and down the ramp, through the long grass, and then get into the fight with the guy near the hollowed log. Again, pause the video if necessary because I am skimming the video to get through the fight. Once you've beaten the fight, we're going to head through the log itself and continue to follow it on to the left. There is another fight we need to do over by the hologram. So just go over to the ball hologram and there's a guy on the left hand side of it. We're going to beat him. Again, you may want to pause the video as I skip the fight. Once you've done that, you skim through the video and we're going to head north through the long grass where there's another fight. Again, you may want to pause the video. I bet you're sick of hearing me say that, but I just want to make sure that you guys are aware that I am skimming it, so best that I just tell you guys. So yeah, pause the video until you're caught up. Then we're just going to head up the steps at the top. So just keep going up the steps there. In fact, no, we're not. Head back down the steps because we've done all the fights in this area now. So just head down the steps, down through the grass, and follow it around to the right, and then head up into the lab. Careful not to walk into the wall. Once we're inside the lab, we're just going to speak to this character over here on the left hand side. And then we're going to skim through the dialogue. Once we've been through all the dialogue here, we're going to just leave outside. And that will trigger a little bit of a scene. And the blue character will tell you that the path to the leisure area has now been unlocked. That means on the left hand side there, you can actually get to the leisure area where the shop is without having to walk all the way around to get there. But anyway, we're going to head up towards the exit, so head up through the log, up the ramps, and then over to the right and follow it around. Once you get around and out of the woods, head towards the screen and then head to the right again. Try not to drop down like me. Just keep heading to the right and go into the school. If you do drop down here by accident, just climb up on that wall there and over the fence. Head up to the top and head into the school. Once we're in the school, we're going to head up towards the top of the screen and then up the stairs. Once up the stairs, we're going to head over to the left. Again, you can walk up any of those stairs and then head over to the left. Once we go over all the way to the left, just keep going over to the left and it will trigger a fight scene. You know what I'm going to do here, guys. I'm going to skip it, so please pause the video if you need to. Once you finish that fight scene there on the landing just outside the student school lesson rooms. Can't even think of the right word. Tutor rooms. You know what I mean anyway. Anyway, once you finish that fight, head into the end door on the left and you'll be in the gym. Go over and speak to the monkey guy. Baboon, gorilla. I don't know what he is. He's not a gorilla. And we're going to be doing our strength tutorial. Now this one is a little bit more tricky. Make sure your damage is set to 0 so you can't take any damage. And what we're going to do is, after this first fight, this first one's pretty straightforward. Just get as close to the car as you can and just keep throwing balls. Now, the best way to sort of get a ball on this area is to actually allow it to hit you. That way it will fall to your feet and then you can pick it up. If you let the ball go past you and hit the car, the ball actually disappears. So now and again you will either try and catch them or let the balls hit you. Now, the first challenge, that one there, is really straightforward, but as you get into the third one, the hard challenge, when the balls hit you, they do come thick and fast, so you may not have enough time to actually get the challenge done. Anyway, after the first fight, go into your equipment and go over and remove the earbuds if you still have them on, and then add the embarrassing underwear. This way will increase our damage, strength output, which allows us to do these challenges more easily. Go over and speak to the monkey guy again, and go over to the medium challenge. Again, all we need to do is allow the ball to hit us and it will drop to our feet, and then allowing us to then throw the balls at the car. You can catch them if you want, it's really up to you. I just find it easier to let the balls hit me and drop to the floor. Again, that won't be the case really on the hard challenge though, as it just does not give you enough time to let them hit you and throw the ball as well. But as long as you're within a certain time, you should get your S rank. If for any reason you get A or B rank, you will need to replay it again. But as long as you've put the pants on, like I mentioned, the ones that I did mention, you should be able to get this pretty easily. Once you've beaten the second one, you then need to go into the third. I accidentally go into easy there. You can just quit the challenge like that if you go in by mistake. Once you've obviously finished the dialogue, go back in and speak to the character again, the monkey character, and this time we're going to choose hard. As I mentioned, this one is a little bit more tricky because they throw the balls at you that fast that you don't give you time to throw them yourself. But allow a few of them to hit you and pick them up. And then once you've done that, try to get as many balls off as you can. If for any reason too many of you are hitting you, try and jump out the way or move out the way and then throw the ball. That way you should be able to do enough damage. This one can be a little bit more tricky, so if for any reason you do fail, just start the challenge again. And remember that you can just pick the balls up at your feet when they hit you. As long as you've got the super pants on and the belt on, you should be doing extra damage and you should be able to do this challenge. Pretty straightforward. It is around 30 to 40 seconds, I believe, that you get S rank. So if for any reason you don't get the S rank, again, just play through that again. Just make sure that you put those two equipment on that I mentioned. I mentioned one of them really early in the game, which was the belt, which you got from the guy outside the infirmary, the lady outside the infirmary. And then you just got those pants from the guy in the toilet for beating the third challenge in the toilet. So as long as you got those two pieces of equipment on, they do make you a lot stronger. Anyway, moving on. So once we've beaten those challenges, all three of them at S rank, we will get our achievement and then we're okay to leave. So head down the steps and head out the school's main door. Then we're just going to go completely down the map towards the screen. So just keep going all the way down the screen until you get to the school's gates. And then we're going to leave the school gates here. Now once we're in the car park, there is a lot of fights to get through here, and we're actually going to be working towards an achievement. Just go over to the left near the blue car and challenge the first character. Now we are working for an achievement in this fight, so I aren't going to skip it. So basically what you need to do is make sure that that car there that drives from left to right, then right to left, doesn't hit you or your teammate. It's pretty straightforward. Just watch where it's going to be. It's either going to be in the middle, the bottom, or the top. You need to make sure that you're keeping track of it and don't take any damage by it. Now, for any reason, if you do take damage, you can pause it and replay the match. Or if you do take damage and you don't want to replay the match, you can just go and do another match around this area. But either way, as long as you don't take damage, you will get the catastrophe achievement. As I mentioned, just do not take damage. Do not let your teammate take damage by the car. It can be a little bit tricky if you move to the middle of the fight there and try and grab the ball, because you will do that stupid motion where you and the other opponent will try and get the ball, and the car can still hit you while you're in this sort of little mini battle. So I would recommend not going for the ball unless you have to. Anyway, you should have that achievement, no problem. Again, if you're in the middle of the fight and you take damage, just press start and do the rematch. Once you've beaten the first player, head down slightly and there's a second, beat them. Once you've beaten them, head over to the right and there is another. You're going to beat them, they're right just to the right of the car park. Then we're going to head over to the robot guy over near the orange car, and we're going to beat them. Again, I am skipping the video here on each fight scene, so you may want to pause the video should I say. Once we've beaten the orange robot guy, we're going to head over to the left and we're going to beat the other two guys, which are down near the school bus. Again, I'm going to skim the video, so you may want to pause it. Once you've beaten the guys behind the school bus, we're going to head over to the guys by the behind this orange car at the top of the front of the school bus. So head over to the guys at the hidden behind the orange car at the top end of the school bus. Once we've beaten those guys, we're going to head back down towards the screen. Once we've gone through the dialogue, that is. Head back down towards the screen. And we're going to fight the ones over by the orange cones. Again, it doesn't really matter what order you do these guys in, as long as you've won all the fights in the car park. Again, they are shown on the minimap by a red fist. You may want to pause the video until all the fight scenes are done. Again, because I am just skimming through them all. Afterward, the one by the cones, if you are following the same ones as me, head over to the robots on the left hand side near the cars and beat them. Now there's two chests in this area that we need to collect. The first one's here on top of the car park, parked car. And the second one is in the top left of the car park. Now we're going to get the top left one first. You can do whichever way you want as long as you collect them both. So there's the top left one at the top left of the car park, then there's this one on top of the blue car. All you need to do is climb on top of the green car and throw the ball to the left, and you will get that box. Again, there is two, so make sure you get them both, and make sure you've beaten everybody in the car park in the fight. Once you've beaten everybody, we are going to head over to the top right of the car park and head down the sewers. Skim through the dialogue with the characters when they bring it up just before you head down. Once you've head down, again, you'll start more dialogue. Just skim through that and head over to the right, up the ramp, and then we're going to speak to Big Tony. Skim through the dialogue with Big Tony, and then head over to the left hand side. Keep following around to the left, and then there's a chest just over on the left hand side. Careful not to speak to the character. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you do, but just head over to the left and open the chest, which is the top left. Drop down into the arena below you, and you will start a fight with the cat. Now we're going to win the cat. I am going to skim through the video. You don't need to see me do it, but basically it takes 1 hit. In fact, I don't even skim through the video, it takes that quick. Once you've won the cat, it will be an achievement because the cat does actually join your team. And there is an important thing to note here, that with the cat you can now open locked chests, because Shoy the cat does actually open them for you. But there is one chest that I recommend not opening at all. But anyway, once Shoy has joined your team, we're going to head over to the right hand side and we're going to go and speak to Big Tony again. I was going to mention a treasure chest there, but I'll talk to you about them very soon, so don't worry about it. Once you've spoken to Big Tony after collecting the cat as a teammate, we're going to head up this ladders and leave after speaking to Big Tony. Head over to the middle of the car park, and Mina is there waiting for you with Bloony. And I believe that you all become friends again. I don't know why you didn't become friends, because I've always skimmed through. Squid is in the middle of the car park afterwards, and you can talk to Squid. make sure you talk to Squid, and then head up towards the top of your screen. There will be a bit of a dialogue showing you one of the characters leaving up towards the woodland area, so we're going to follow them up. So head toward the top of the screen, head over to the left, and then head over to the woodlands. There is 2 fight scenes here. I am going to skim through them both, so you may want to pause your video until you've caught up. There's the first fight out the way, and then the second fight just afterwards. I did actually nearly walk away, but don't forget to fight him because you will need XP for your leveling up. But again, I am skimming through the fight video, so just pause it. Once we've done that fight, we're going to head into the woodland, so just head up towards the top of the screen, and then follow it around to the left. Once we're in the woodlands, we're just going to keep going to the left. You will get a bit of a scene showing you that Squid has headed up the steps, and the log that used to block the path that was there is no longer there. So we're going to head into the long grass and open our container on our left. At this point, you actually don't really need these items anymore because we've already got the achievement that we needed them for. But anyway, I still collect them anyway. Once you've collected that, head to the top of the screen, head to the right, up the ramp, and you will have a fight with Squid. Now, once you finish the fight with Squid, it will actually move you to a different area automatically. So beat Squid in the fight, and then we're going to go on a little bit of a treasure hunt afterwards. So skim through the dialogue with Squid, and then it will have another dialogue I need to skim through, and it will send you to the school. Once you have left the fabric room afterwards, we'll have another dialogue that we need to skim through. Seems to be a lot of dialogue in this area. Keep skimming through it, and then leave the school. Go down the steps and head out the front door. Now we're going to go on a bit of a treasure hunt here, so make sure that you are keeping track if possible. You may want to pause the video a couple of times until you make sure that you've got them all. But head towards the left hand side after leaving the school and head down towards the fountain, and have the cat character open the chest down by the fountain for you, and then throw the ball at it to open it. Climb back up the top and head to the right. Head down towards the arena area, so just keep heading to the right. Head over to the arena, so just keep heading towards the bottom right of the screen, and head up towards the arena and in through the arena main doors. This is going to be our second locked chest in the area that we're going to collect. Head up and then head to the left and head up the steps and open the chest using the cat. So you need to click on X first before throwing the ball. Let the cat open the chest for you and then throw the ball at it to get your next item. Again, we need all these items for an achievement. So that's lock chest number 2 that we are opening. Remember that there are 2 chests in the game that we don't want to open. The one being in the school, hidden behind the steps on the roof. We do not want to open that. And the other one that we don't want to open is in the dorm, in the basement. So do not open the steps, one behind the steps in the school, and do not open the one in the basement of the dorm. Anyway, once we got the chest in the arena, we're going to head down into the infirmary. Once you're in the infirmary, we're going to use the cat to then open the 3rd chest. This is lock chest number 3. Get the cat to open it and then throw a ball at it to collect the first aid kit. Once we collect the first aid kit, we're going to head towards the screen and head out. We're going to head out the infirmary, and then we're going to head towards the top of the screen, and then we're going to head into the woodland area. Once we're into the woods, we're going to follow it around and up the steps, and we're going to head back to where the pirate was. So head through the long grass, follow the ramp up to the right, and then we're going to get our next locked chest, which is literally right where the pirate's house was, and we get a secret note from there. Once we've got the secret note, we're going to head back down the ramp, through the long grass, and follow it up the ramp to the left. And then just keep following the path around to the left too. Once we get to the wooden bridge, we're going to head down the ramp, follow the steps to the left, and then through the long grass. Keep following it towards the screen, and then we're going to head to the right, and we're going to head into the lab. So at the moment we have 4 chests. We're going to head into the lab, and we're going to get chest number 5 and 6. So just over to the left inside the second room in the lab, at the back room of the lab, we are going to get these 2 chests, which is chest number 5 and chest number 6. Not forgetting to use the cat on them by walking over and pressing X on them first, and then use the balls to open them after. If you don't have any balls, you will need to have a quick look around the area, the immediate area, to find some. Anyway, once we got chest 5 and 6 from inside the lab, we're going to leave the lab and we're going to head over to the left, past the hologram ball and down the ramp. And then just here on the left, just as we're about to leave the area, there is another chest. We need to use the cat on the chest and open it up, and then we need to head back into woodlands and back up the ramp. Once we head back up the ramp, go over to the left hand side, follow it around. Do not go through long grass, but go to the left into the creepy woods area, and there is another chest there. You need to get the cat to open it for you, then use your ball to open it up. Then we're going to head back over to the right. So that was chest number 7 and 8 of the locked chests. Keep following it around and head towards the screen. And we're going to go back towards the shop this way. So head down towards the screen and head to the right. And then we're going to head down towards the screen and then head towards the right hand side where the library is. You may notice that the video cut there, I did go the wrong way and then came back. But yeah, just head down towards the screen and head into the library. Once you're in the library, you're going to speak to the librarian and skim through the dialogue, and then it will teleport you back outside into the main courtyard area. Once you're in the main courtyard area, just follow back up to the top and head over to the right towards the cafe. So just keep heading to the right past the school and then back up towards the cafeteria, and we're going to head inside the cafeteria. And once we head inside, there is a dialogue that starts and a little bit of a scene. Skim through that and you will be in a fight. Now I am going to skim the fight, so please pause the video if you need to. Once the fight is complete, you can then collect your prizes. Skim through any dialogue, and then you're okay to leave. Once you're left, we're just going to head over to the left hand side past the school, and then we're going to go into the school doors, in fact. So head into the school's main doors. Once we're inside the school's main doors, head up the stairs and follow it around to the left. Keep going up to the left and following it over, and upstairs we're going to head over into the classroom, which is the first door on the left, which is the fabric room, what I call the fabric room. Then we're going to speak to the teacher, future Arnato, whatever his name is. We're going to skim through the dialogue and we're going to get our completion for completing that level. That episode, should I say, which is to complete episode 5. So now we completed episode 5. So yeah, all good. We are getting through these achievements now, through 5 episodes. Don't forget, guys, you can support our channel by hitting that like button, giving us a sub or something, you know. Let us know that you're appreciating these videos, and in return, we can grow and make even more for you guys. So take out a couple of minutes to maybe hit that subscribe button. Once you leave, once you've done that, you need to leave the school, follow it round past the infirmary and head back towards the dorm, as we're going to go back to our dorm to go to sleep. So keep going left over the bridge and then down towards the screen, then head over to the left, up the steps and back into the dorm. Again, you can now open the chest in the dorm downstairs, but don't. We need that for an achievement, a missable achievement. So do not go downstairs there. Do not open that chest. Once you're in the dorm area, go upstairs and into your room and use the bed to go to sleep. Again, do not go into the downstairs area and do not open that chest, as you may miss the achievement by doing so. Once you've gone to bed, you can then sleep, and that will be the end of this video. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Take care. We'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to support us by hitting that sub button and giving us a couple of likes, comments, etc. And we'll see you in part 3. Take care.
Boss Fight Gaming. You lose. Game over.